Eel. All right, so one of the latest and greatest models from the #1 brand in televisions in the world, which is Samsung. A smart TV that is as intelligent as it is beautiful. Brand new today. This is the lowest price that we have found out on the market. We did the shopping for you, and we know that you will not find a better value for these Samsung TVs. The 2025 Q7F QLED 4K Smart TV. By the way, also you see right there on the graphic, 2 years of warranty. Normally you get 1 year. We're adding a year to the warranty, and also free shipping and handling. This is coming home to you straight to your door. You don't have to go to the store. You don't have to stand there staring at a big wall not knowing what's going on. We're going to explain it all to you, and you're going to know that you are making the best purchase. Plus, you have 30 days to love this television or send it back. Now, let me tell you our options. We have a 43-inch, a 50-inch, 55, 65, 75, and 85. The one that I'm standing next to is the 85-inch, the big Mama Jamma. The one that a few years ago, now I think 2 years ago, the Samsung that I actually went for when it was a big deal or today's special value, I don't remember, but it was the best decision that I have ever made. So there you see all of the great prices. The 43-inch, $389, the 50-inch, $429, 55, $479. And it goes on from there. 65, $589, 75, $889, and the 85-inch, $1489. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, and actually let me ask Mr. Brett Hamilton here, I've had the televisions that I have in my home for years.
Forever, yeah.
And I went for the 85-inch because I said, my house is not that big. But I said, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. And I'm probably going to have my TV for at least 20 years. Yeah. So I'm very happy that I did it with the Samsung television.
Well, and I think there's this misconception that if you want a gigantic TV like this, you need a theater-sized room in order for it to happen. So let's get one thing out of the way before we get into what makes this picture so beautiful. There's a rule. For an 85-inch TV, it's a mere 8.5 feet back from the screen. 55-inch, 5.5, 65-inch, 6.5. So 8.5 feet. Here, right here. That's it. That's all that you need. And you'll be immersed in the fact that with what Samsung has done now and the introduction of Samsung Vision AI, they're doing all the work for you. How many of you have a mother-in-law that calls you every single time something doesn't work with technology? I hit the thing and I don't know where the thing and the stuff is. And then the things and the stuff don't work and you're like, where's the remote? I got the remote, but I don't know how to use the remote. Samsung has now, with the Vision AI inside here, with their Samsung Vision AI, this learns from what you do in a good way. Meaning, if you watch certain shows, if you like a certain brightness, look at this. This quantum dot technology goes and enhances all of these colors so that it looks, it looks like we're looking out a window.
Yeah, it
instead
does.
of staring at a screen. And I think as you see it adapt and upscale, upscaling is basically taking something that should look better and making it look better on your TV without you having to do anything. And we have a mere 11 minutes. There's no possible way I can go through all the tech, but I'll tell you this, you turn it on, you connect it to the internet. It's not a smart TV, it's a brilliant TV.
It's a brilliant
TV.
Is. Brilliant in the brain that it has in there, but also brilliant in the color and the vibrancy and just crystal clear as it is. So you know what, I would love to see, because we have a way to help everyone decide the sizes, right, to choose for your home. Jen, do we have those stills? Here we go. So let's talk about this, Brett, more or less size-wise.
Yeah, the 43 starts it all off for us, and that's the anywhere TV. That can go in a kitchen, it can go in a bedroom, it can go in a guest room, whatever it may be. And as we scroll on here and you see the TV start to get larger, you kind of get a feel, all right, the 50 slightly larger. Remember 50-inch and all the sizes, you're measuring diagonally. It's actually left to right slightly smaller than the size that you're going to pick up. Moving to a 55, this is probably a living room, a great room, certainly a great bedroom TV. Then we start to get into the I'm not messing around, I'm building a home theater in my house. And by the way, the feet on these TVs now can either go, as you see there, kind of spread to the left or the right, or they can go almost to the center. So if you don't have a lot of room for this, and obviously if you're going to get a 75 or higher, you're probably going to hang it on the wall anyway. In fact, I would recommend that. I don't know whether we carry mounts or not. We probably do. If we don't, any standard mount will fit. So you see now when we get up to the 85-inch, to the Racino model, this is something that you're definitely going to hang on the wall. Two reasons. One, you don't want to knock something like that over. And two, it really becomes a piece of art.
Well, it is, but mine is sitting on
that.
You
have it on there? Yeah,
and
you're
it's
not messing.
perfect.
Okay. That's
and
fine.
it
You
looks
don't have
great.
to.
And that's the thing. It's really sturdy. It's thin. It's fine if you do want to mount it. That's what I'm noticing here.
Yeah, it's razor thin.
And then also now, so what's the most common TV? Like 55-inch, right?
I think the most common are the 55 and now the 65. I mean, growing up, we had these boxes, right? There's a funny little analogy that the guys from Samsung always tell me, big screens are getting smaller. And I was like, what does that mean? He's like, think about it. It used to be that a big screen, when they first came out, was the size of like a washer and dryer. As far as the depth and the thickness, a projection TV took up an entire room. Now, this is something that's just, we can't spin these because they're wired, but you know, this is a few inches deep, and whether you hang it on a wall or whether you put it on a cabinet or whatever counter you have, it kind of becomes part of the room that it's in. And the ability to be able to not only watch beautiful TV and stuff like that, but this art feature that's built inside here, it's just incredible. I mean, you can go through and enable the art feature so that when you're not watching TV, you don't have a screen. You don't have just a black screen that's sitting up there. Look at the ability to be able to take this and change it and modify it and do all kinds of cool stuff to it. And use this all the time, right?
As a piece of art.
As a piece of art. And look at that. And you can access some of the most famous works of art that were ever created simply by going into the art store that's inside here. But the television itself is not just about what you're watching on cable. It's not just about what you're streaming. It's this whole universe that lives inside here, including Samsung TV Plus. This will allow you to access over 400, check this out, Racino, 400 live television channels with no fees, no subscriptions. For those of you going, I really, really need to get rid of cable. I'm tired of spending all this money on TV. I'm tired of not being able to pick and choose. Well, look at this. You've got essentially a cable guide built inside here that includes, because I know a lot of you are going to ask, can I get local channels? Well, that's what they're starting to do. They're starting to add live local news channels, depending on what market you're in. In fact, I was just looking before, ABC, CBS, NBC, and I even believe the local Fox network had their news on demand and available anytime you want. But they break it down into categories for you, movies and westerns and all that other good stuff. All this is free. It just needs to be connected to the internet.
And that's the wonderful thing that now, that's one of the reasons why I still have my cable, right, is because I needed the local news. But now you're able to get that. This is now all included with the television. There's nothing extra. Now, the great thing, too, is that you could now, built in, without having to put in your little, like, what is a smart TV? Without having to put in a Fire Stick, without having to have a Roku, you're able to download those apps, like we tell you, the free streaming service of QVC, HSM+, Netflix, Hulu, all of those things, you can just download straight to the television, and now you're going to be streaming your TV without paying a dime, unless something is a subscription. For example, QVC is completely free. There's no subscription, and you could watch the live shows on here as well, plus all of the original programming as well.
Yeah, everything that we create, you know, behind the scenes that you can only see on an app like this versus, you know, if you go into your cable guide, you see QVC and you see QVC2. If you're lucky, you'll see HSN, but you're not seeing all the curated content that lives on the QVC app. You now, in theory, no longer need to pay the cable company to watch QVC. All you have to do is go inside the App Store here, download the free QVC app, QVC HSN app, and now all of this content, including, as Racina said, all of these live channels live inside here as well. So for those of you going, that seems like a lot to wrap my head around. And that's why I'm trying to stay away from the tech. It's noon, right? I get it. Nobody's into all the gigawatts and the gigawatts and all that other stuff. No. We want something that's going to look good. We want something that's easy to use. And this remote, by the way, is fairly simple because it only has a handful of buttons on it. By the way, I'm probably one of the few that thinks this is super cool, but this is a solar paneled remote control. You never need a battery for it. If you look on the back here, you'll see that it has this little panel right here, and that panel allows you to just leave it in the light. And I believe, let me check this number. Yeah, 200 million batteries in the time that Samsung has created this remote have stayed out of the landfills. 200 million batteries. How many times has your remote gone bad in the middle of the night? You start to smack it and you flip it and you spin the battery. You don't have to do that anymore. It's essentially never going to need any sort of power source other than
it works,
sunlight.
and you don't. And it's really crazy because the one that I have is like that, and you don't actually have to put it out in the sun. Like it grabs the power from the sun by itself.
Magic.
It's magical. Okay, so a lot of us are deciding because the prices are really, really incredible. This is one of the latest and greatest. This is a 2025 model at the lowest price that we have found. We did the shopping for you. Now, if you want to do it, you could absolutely do it as well. But we did the shopping around for you. And they're all already getting limited. So we have the 43-inch, which we only have 140 remaining, 5 easy payments of $78. The 50-inch, fewer than 100 now, 5 easy payments of $86, fewer than 100 in the 50. 55, we have 5 easy payments of $96 and 150 to go around in the 55-inch. The 65-inch, 5 easy payments of $118. 200 remain in the 65-inch. The 75-inch, 5 easy payments of $178. 110 to go around, and the 85-inch, 5 easy payments of $298. Fewer than 100 to go around. Now, free shipping and handling. No matter what size, this is coming to you to your doorstep. You don't have to try and I would never be able to, I have a little car. I would never be able to put this or the 55-inch in my car. This is coming to your home for free shipping and handling.
Yeah, the boxes are obviously bigger than the TV itself. So if you're going after the 85, every time I drive through a strip mall or whatever in front of one of the big stores, big box stores, and I see people trying to put big screen TVs inside a sedan or something like that, I'm like, it's just not going to work. It's a great way to damage a TV. Let us do the hard work for you. The picture itself, let's just quickly talk about this quantum dot technology where the Q comes and stuff like that. There's just millions and millions of little pixels inside here. When they get hit by a light source, depending on the size of the pixel, smallest ones are red, the larger ones are green. They blend together to give you more than 1 billion color variations. So I'll say it again, 1 billion color variations, which is why Samsung has been #1 for 19 years. Imagine being #1. There's no baseball team that's won the World Series 19 years in a row. To be the best there is for 19 years in a row speaks volumes about this. And again, as I said at the top, and I'll keep saying, Racina, you don't have to understand why it looks so good. You don't have to understand how to get it to look that good, because this Vision AI, this Samsung Vision AI technology that's inside here will do all the work for you. It's about a 10-minute setup out of the box, simply because you're going to connect it to the internet. It's going to want to run some updates, and then it will learn what it is that you enjoy watching, whether it's certain types of TV shows, whether it's the light in the room, whether it's how you want the color to look. And in the end, you're going to get this spectacular picture no matter what size television you get.
Speaking of baseball teams, speaking of baseball, speaking of soccer, that next year is the World Cup. Speaking of football, because it's summer now, but football season is right around the corner. Imagine watching the games on these TVs. Now, any of the sizes, like I said, and I have to say, I was nervous.
Yeah.
When I made the 85-inch purchase, I was like, what have I done? Because again, I don't have a very big home. Well, it was absolutely perfect, and I'm so happy that I did, because I know that I'm going to have this television for at least 20 years or more, right? And it is the best of the best. So just think about watching movies and just your local news, right?
Yeah.
Really having the crispest, clearest vision on this. Now, let's talk about how to measure.
Yeah, again, I mean, we have a video to show, but the bottom line is you're going to kind of work off the algorithm that I gave you before. If it's an 85-inch TV, you need about 8.5 feet from the television to where you're going to sit, whether you're mounting that on the wall, whether you're going to put it on a cabinet, whether you're going to put it on a tabletop, whatever it might be. But that 40-degree viewing angle, we have George Lucas to thank for that. That was his concept, his idea as to how close you should sit, but also that dictates how much you're going to absorb, with your peripheral vision, what it is that you're watching. So we can look at all the numbers in the world, but 85-inch, 8.5 feet, 55-inch, about 5.5 feet. So you don't need a gigantic room to enjoy a gigantic TV from Samsung.
Such a great tip right there.
Yeah.
Check out of your cart. Look, free shipping and handling straight to your doorstep. Second of all, 30 days to love it or send it back. The lowest price that we found out on the market for the latest and greatest